Well, hey garden friends, it's Destry. Welcome back to my Oregon yard. Today we're going to be doing a planting project. We're going to be planting out a bunch of seedlings that I started earlier this spring into some raised garden beds. And so yeah, it's going to be fun. We're going to get a lot of things planted up and planted out. I'll show you the different things I've been growing, and let's get going. It's spring. Let's do this. All right, so let's go ahead and look at these fresh spring plants, you guys. I'm so excited with how these look. This is all strawflower here, and you can see these are just ready to go. They are looking so healthy. They're gonna do great. Now these are also strawflower. These ones is a different variety, and you can see I kind of need to get in here and do a little bit of grooming, but I think that they're ready. I think they're ready to go out in the ground. We've had some warm temperatures, and in the forecast for the next 2 weeks it's supposed to be really pretty warm. Also, strawflowers are pretty cold tolerant, and so I'm just ready to get them in the planters, get them in the ground, as I say, even though they're raised beds. And then over here we've got stock. I guess I kind of went a little nuts on the stock. I do love it, and each plant is just basically one single bloom, but I have more stock over here. And I am hardening these off today. I don't know that I'll get to planting all of them out today. Like some of these look a little bit, like these could be in the greenhouse, I feel like another week or so. Whereas these ones, I feel like these would be the ones I would plant first. They're getting a little taller. They look, a little bit more sturdy, or like one like this or this. So I'll have to see. Like this one is a ruby, this one is a lavender blue. So I also kind of want to keep them together. So like this tray would probably be the last tray that I sow or that I plant up, if you know what I mean. So like I got to prioritize my time and my space, so I think I'll start definitely with this tray. And then down here I've got snapdragons, and you can see they're starting to lean a little bit. I need to get them trained up a bit. Now I already have some of these planted up in a raised bed. I did that a few weeks back. I have a different video about the first planting, so you should definitely check that out. I'll try to link it for you, but I want to do another bed of snapdragons, and I think I have just enough to do one of my raised beds, or maybe, yeah, I think it would probably take up the whole bed. So anyway, I would like to get those going outdoors, but again, they're here and they're hardening off. They're getting some breeze, and it's a little chilly out here today in the morning, so it's probably good for them to just kind of hang out outside. My husband and I have been discussing putting in a path this summer on our property. So that's pretty exciting. Now let's take a look in here. Everything's looking really good. I have been harvesting on the tulips, but days like today I could definitely open this up and give this some air in here. But let me go ahead, I'll pull this back and I'll show you the snapdragons. Gosh, you guys, I'm trying out this apron today and I already got it dirty. It's like a little gardening apron. Anyway. Okay, so here's what the snapdragons are looking like in here, and I kind of feel like I could sow, I kind of have them in rows, or at least I tried, and I almost feel like I could tuck more into the space. So that was my other thought with the snapdragons. So tell me in the comments, what's your thoughts on that? Do you think I could space these closer? I mean, again, I'm kind of like doing sort of micro, flower farming here, so I really need to utilize my space. And then I got to get in here and fix these two plants here and move them over more towards the middle there. And again, it's kind of hard with this, this cover on here, and I almost feel like it's getting close to the time where I really don't need it anymore. But I do think it kind of traps the heat a little bit and helps everything develop. And because I used it so early, when I put it out, it really was needed, but now it's starting to warm up. Some room in this bed. I've got the white Orlea here, and I didn't realize how much it would spread. So it's really spread out more wide. I guess I didn't realize what a wide plant it was, but you can see I have a weed too. And then in here is my first batch of stock, and let's look in here. They're looking really, really good. I would say they're definitely getting taller, and they seem really protected in here. I don't see any evidence of fungus gnats really or anything. So I'm just gonna let them be. I probably need to be careful if we do have a really hot day and make sure that they've got ventilation. So I definitely want to plant more in this bed here in the center. So I'm trying to figure out what to put there. And then over here, I've got the Crispidia, the drumstick kind of pretty yellow drumstick kind of flower, and you can see some of them are doing better than others. I could probably get in here and groom them, but I think they're ready for some warmer temperatures. I think that they're gonna spring up once we get some warm temperatures. And this is the rest of the stalk. You can kind of see through there that's doing really well. So I definitely have room in these beds here, so I'm trying to figure out like what's next. I think I'm gonna start with the stalk. I'm gonna plant out some more stalk in the bigger wooden garden beds. So I think that's where I'm gonna start for today. And then I think I'll move on to maybe the snapdragons and the strawflower. And just trying to figure out if I want to put them in one of the, the metal raised beds or the other one. So I got to figure some stuff out, but let's get it going. So it's going good so far. Some of these pots have like 2 seedlings in or 3. So, it's nice to do that when you're potting up, but when you're actually getting them in the ground, it's kind of a pain because then you have to separate them before planting. But that being said, it's going really, really well. Now these are a little like droopy in a way, just the way the plant is growing. So some of them I'm laying a little bit more on their side so they can kind of grow towards the light, if that makes sense. But yeah, overall it's going good. And I'm keeping the patch on this side of the bed. So that way, when I'm done with this whole area will be free. Minus the peas. My peas are coming up here, my shelling peas. With that, it's gonna be, I can just pull out this whole crop when I'm done and turn the bed to something else. The thing about stalk is that they bloom pretty early in the season, so you can count on them just kind of blooming, and then you can remove those plants. So again, with doing kind of this micro flower farm thing I'm trying to do, and selling these flowers and just enjoying my gardening passion. But anyway, I definitely want to think about that, like turning beds and getting more, more bang for your buck space-wise. So hopefully that's helping you as well. If you're a gardener or a yardner, that you can get some ideas. Okay, so I'm gonna move on to this lavender blue stalk through here. And wish me luck. I kind of feel like I want my little stool, but it'll just get in the way. So we'll just kind of make it happen. These beds are a little big for me, so I might go ahead and do similar like I did over there and just do like a patch, kind of like half the bed so that I can lean in and harvest more successfully, I guess. So I'm just gonna go ahead, dig my holes, and I'm kind of doing 3 across. Go a little closer than that. And I can always move this later. The irrigation lines are kind of in the way, but that's all right. So I'll do a quick count before I dig all the holes so that I can, do it correctly and not waste time, So I'm kind of putting these in almost on their side, kind of flopping them over. with my biggest ones. Trying to keep them kind of in rows. It'll be nice to have these pots back to use also. Now this one has about 3 in it, so again, I'm gonna make my life easier. I'm gonna start with the ones that only have the one seedling in there. Thanking myself that some of them only have the one. All right, so next up, I'm going to grab some of these snapdragons and look at the bed of snapdragons and add a few more to this bed. Now most of these already in here are the like apricot variety, but then I have some ivory here. And then I'm gonna look at the placement of these plants and maybe do some adjustments here too. Because this thing is just kind of right there. So I'm gonna move a couple of these plants. So what I might do too is get in here with some kitchen skewers. Those work really well for like little steaks, but they're like tiny and mini ones, just to kind of help you know, train these upright until they're tall enough to be like more netted, which is not gonna be long. I think I'm gonna be able to get in here and do that. So, but yeah, I'm glad that I'm sort of moving some things around. Now some of this I'm like, well, I think it'll be all right. I also see some weeds in here I need to take care of. So, but then I'm gonna look too at this tray here and see if I can fit anything else in here. But I may just end up doing a whole tray, row thing of snapdragons. So, but I might be able to tuck in a few. There's one there. So earlier today, I dropped this whole tray of snapdragons and like half of them like got totally unplanted. So I'm just gonna keep going in this bed. I'm gonna do snapdragons next on this side. And then I'm just gonna keep moving forward. I think I'm gonna just fill these 2 beds today and not worry about the metal beds, but we'll see, we'll see. You know, gardeners have the right to change their mind at any time. Okay, here we go. I also am being a little careful though of my peas. So I have shelling peas coming up along the trellis. So I want to give some room to that. And then of course I have to be careful of my stalk on this side. So I think I'm going to start doing that. And then we'll just kind of get in here and get after it. All right, so for my last section of this bed, I think I'm gonna go ahead and plant this gorgeous, gorgeous strawflower, you guys. I have to get it in the ground. It's gotta happen today. So we're gonna go ahead and plant that up there, and that'll kind of finish up these 2 beds, I think, at least for now. And then, yeah, I'm gonna have to find some more planting room. I've got a lot of seedlings, and I need some more space, darn it. But that's part of, you know, having a small, you know, urban garden. You just gotta like get as much as you can, right? Pack as much things in there as you can. So anyway, these are the next thing I'm going to be planting today. Now the nice thing about this strawflower is it will continue to bloom all season, and I can use it for cut flower work, but I can also dry it and use it as dried bouquets. I can make wreaths with it in the fall, which I did last year on the flower stand, and they sold really well. So I'd like to maybe get some more going for that, for dried flowers. So anyway, move this landscape staple while I'm talking. But yeah, so I'm really excited. This is my first year growing strawflower. If you have experience with it, drop me a comment and let me know. Now I have peas sown on this side too, but I can see not as many poking through. And again, that's because this bed doesn't get the most sun. So I might end up, planting these here and then maybe planting them elsewhere in my garden too, just so that, different areas of the microclimates of your garden, things can grow better or worse. So now I'm just gonna go through, I'm gonna pick some out here. Some of these real big ones. And I think they're gonna be really happy to get out of these cans, these containers. Be interested to see, oh yeah, you can see the roots on this one. Look at that, it's definitely ready. So convenient to have the drip irrigation already set up this year. That was one thing we had to get set up last year. Man, these are kind of dry. So it's so nice to have it just ready to go this year. Anyway, we have our irrigation gentleman coming soon to turn on the water system for the house. And the one regret I have is we didn't put in all the sprinklers that we could have, which we probably should have last year. So we still have to hand water quite a bit of the yard. So that's a bummer, but we thought we would kind of do it in stages. Boy, these are really in there. I feel like I might need to break up the roots more. They're very big, healthy plants. All right, so here's where we're at. We've got this row of Crispidia, more stalk, and then those are all the strawflower doubles. And then you can see I've left a spot here in the corner for basically a stepping stone so that I have an easier time getting into this bed. So I'm gonna try that this year. I'm also trying this where I'm just, kind of planting half and half the bed so that hopefully that'll just be a little easier to access. And then the one over here, similar thing. I've got stock here. I've got all of this snapdragon. Now I'm gonna get in here and water this stuff in today. You can see it's gonna stress out. It'll stress out for a day or two and then it'll pop back up and it'll be just fine. But also I'm leaving a spot here for maybe a stepstone so that I have an easier time harvesting. I'm feeling really great about what I got done today. I feel like I got a lot of my seedlings in the ground. I'm excited to see how my kind of micro flower farm develops this season. So be sure to stick around to the channel for more informative videos. All right guys, well I think that's gonna be it for today's video. I can feel the rain coming, so I am gonna stop this planting day for now, or at least take a pause on it. Thanks for hanging out with me and planting up some plants in the garden today. So go ahead and give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. If you need me, I'll be doing some gardening. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.